Hello everyone, welcome back. So in this video, let's explore about the architecture. Okay, so we have two sources. First is S3 and another source is PostgreSQL, and we'll create this PostgreSQL with help of AWS RDS. Fine. And in the S3 we have a customer data. So and the file is customer .csv file. And in the PostgreSQL we'll have this order data, right? And we'll be creating a schema called app, and under that we'll have a table called order. Okay, so this will be my source, and in the destination will be again my PostgreSQL, right? And here I'll be getting the data from S3 and the Postgres into my PostgreSQL, that is into a destination with help of Informatica Cloud Service, right? ICS, with help of data integration, I'll make the connection. I'll just pull the data from S3 to my PostgreSQL, right? And here inside this we'll have a schema called vendor data, and the table name is customer, right? And for this data, so we'll create one more schema called operation, and I'll have the one more table called order. So this will be my destination and this will be my sources. So once we're done with this, we'll try to transform the data, right? So with help of DBT, and we'll do the transformation. We'll make it a cleaned data, so that we can connect with our visualization tool, so that we can get the insights from the data. So this is my ETL system design. Hello everyone, welcome back. So in this video, let's explore about the data set. So in the flow chart, we have already seen, right? So in my ETL system design, so we are working with two different data sets. One is a customer data, right? So basically in our project, yeah. So sorry guys. Yeah. So in our project, we assume data vendor drops this customer information into a S3 bucket, right? So in S3 bucket, we have this customer.csv file, right? So I'll show you what is this CSV file contains. And on the other hand, we have app.order. So this is basically order.csv file. So let's explore these files. So I have created a folder called project 3, right? So in this we have shared data files with you, that is orders and the customers. Okay, so let me open this customers first. Let me open this customers. So this is both are CSV files. Okay, so in the customer file, okay, so it's opening. Let's wait. Yeah. Yeah, so in this customer file, so we have a customer ID, right? So each customer has unique ID. Then we have a zip code, okay? So it basically tells the zip code of the individual customer, then the city they belongs to. Then we have a state code, okay? So then we have a date time created, okay? So when this customers got created, right? And we have a date time updated. So if the customer has updated some new information, so when it was last updated, right? So this is what information we can find in the customer.csv file. So let me even see the orders data. Okay, so this is my orders data. So in orders data, so we have an order ID, right? And we have a customer ID, right? So this is the order ID and the customer ID. So basically I can connect this customer CSV with the order CSV with help of this customer ID, right? So this is what I can make a relationship between these two tables. Then we have an order status. So when this order got delivered or whether it's invoiced, okay, I can basically know the status of each order. Then we have a order, these all timestamps, okay, along with the date, the like order purchase, okay. Then we have a order approved, order delivery carrier date. Then we have a order delivered customer date. Then we have order estimated delivery dates. These are the different dates. So this is what the data set is, okay. So the customer CSV file is in my S3, right? And this order CSV will be in my database. So this is all about the data sets. So now in the next step, let's try to upload the data in AWS S3. Hello everyone, welcome back. So in this video, let's upload the data to the AWS S3. So in the previous video, I have shown you the customer.csv data, right? So let's upload that data into the S3. So I have already signed into my AWS Management Console. I'll click on S3. Okay, so let's create a bucket. So let's click on create bucket. I'll give my bucket name. So I'll give ETL project 3, ETL ETL project 3. So I'll just keep all the settings as it is, like block public access settings for the bucket. Then even I have disabled this bucket versioning, right? So let's keep it default and click on create bucket. Okay, so let me search. So ETL, uh, yeah, ETL project 3. This is my bucket. So let me open this. And right now I don't have any folders or files. So let me create, no need to create a folder. If you want, you can just create a separate folder. Let's upload the data here. So add files. So I'll go to my project 3 and I'll upload this customer.csv. So this will be my source, right? So let me upload this. Yeah. So I'll close, I'll just verify, you can see. So my data customer.csv data has been uploaded. Hello everyone, welcome back. So in the previous video, we have uploaded a customer.csv file in the S3 bucket, right? So now let's proceed. So next we have orders data. So to upload the orders data, of course, we need to set up the environment, right? So we need to have this Postgres SQL. So to set up a Postgres SQL, we'll be using AWS RDS, okay? So let's go and create first. So I have signed into my AWS management console. I'll search for RDS, or else you can just select from this recent access. Okay, that is managed relational database service. I'm just selecting that. Then click on create database. Okay, so here I can just choose the database creation method. Either I can go with the standard create or I can go with the easy create. So let's go with the standard create. And I need a Postgres SQL, right? So if you are working with some other databases, you can just select it from here, this section. I'll just scroll down and let me add the DB cluster identifier. I'll just name this as a data platform. Okay, and the master username I'll just set to INEURON underscore user, and the password. Fine. So let me confirm the password once again. So next, so if you just scroll down, so here we have an option for the public access. Make sure you select this as fine. And so rest everything, you can just keep it default. And if you just scroll down, so here you have an option of additional configuration. Okay. So in the additional configuration, we need to add the initial database. Okay. So let me add the initial database. Uh, initial database, if you not specify, okay. It does not create a database. Okay, so let me create this. Okay, multi-availability is not available. Fine. Let me uncheck that. Uh, just scroll down in the availability. Yeah. So here just select this single DB instance. So this is what you need to set up, right? So if I just scroll down, I think that option should be available now. That is initial database. Yeah, initial database name, right? So here you can just give the initial database. So I'll just give this as um, ETL. Okay, this is my database name. Okay, so instead of ETL, let me give orders DB. Okay, I'll just save this as orders DB. This will be my initial database, fine, orders DB. So I think rest everything's correct. Okay, so let me revise what I've just done. So first I've just started what creation method. So you need to choose the creation method. So here the creation method is I have chosen as standard, right? So next I have just chosen what engine information. Then the availability and developability, make sure you just select the single DB instance, and the database identifier, why it has changed to database one. I'll just change this to data platform, fine. And the username is ineuron underscore user. Then the passwords, then if you just try to expand the additional and make sure that public access is, but in real time, of course, no companies want their databases to be available public, right? So in real time, of course, we'll have all the security features, but in this project, to run smoothly, we have just added the public access as S, right? Then the additional initial database I've just given as or else I'll just, instead of orders, let me give data DB. It will be good. Okay, so data DB, right? And yeah, so everything is set. So let me click on create database. So I'll just open this a data platform, and in the data platform, so still endpoint and the port is not yet been assigned. So let's wait. Okay, so it will take few minutes to configure this. I'll be back once this setup is done. Okay, my Postgres SQL got created, and we need to make a note of important things like endpoint port. Okay, so I have created a new txt file that is as a note. Okay, so let me replace. Let me add this all these endpoints. Okay, so this is all required when I want to connect my when I'm just doing some integration with IICS, right? So I want all this details so that I can easily access, right? So then and port is 5432. So from here you can just get that. And the database name. So the database name I have given as DB, and the username I have given as ineuron user, right? Ineuron underscore user, and the password you need to remember it. And this is my bucket name, right? ETL project which we have created previously. Okay. Fine. So now, so before connecting, okay, so I can connect to PostgreSQL with help of PGCLI, or you can even download the PG admin. I'll just show you the steps how to download it. It's very simple. Just you need to download it. Okay. So before that, okay, I'll just show you. So first, you can just search for a PG admin download. So this is what the page is. Okay, you can just click on download, and depending on based on your operating system, just download it. Okay. So I've already downloaded. So you can see I'll just open my PG admin. So this is my PG admin. Okay. So before it starts, so let's do one thing. So here we need to get into security groups so that I can add my IP address. So click on this security group ID. So this step is important, okay, or else you'll get error whenever you're getting connecting. So let's scroll down and let's add SSH, my IP, okay, and even you can add the TCP also, TCP and my IP. So click on save rules. This already exists, okay. Back. So let's delete this and save. Okay, even this is exist. Okay, if this exists, that's fine. Okay, then no issues. Okay, so it already exists, then no issues. If it does not exist, you need to add it. Okay, click on save rules. Already okay, I can't delete it. So let me delete this. So get back to my RDS. And even I have opened my PG admin. So let me enter the password. So this you need to set whenever you're configuring this PG admin, right? So this is not the same password which I created while creating the uh, 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 PostgreSQL, right? It's not like that. Fine. So this is a separate password. So here I have just signed into my PG admin. Okay. So now I need to add the server to the PG admin so that I can work with the databases and I can create the schemas, right? Let's go and connect my PostgreSQL with the PG admin in the next video. All right, so now let's connect. So I have opened my PG admin. So click on servers. So this is the server like if you have installed in your system. So I need to register a new server. So click on a server. So you need to give a name. I'll just give AWS RDS. And under the connection details, we need to add the host name, right? So I have copied all the details, right? So let me add the endpoint here, endpoint over here. Okay, so from where I'm getting this endpoint is the same place, right? So under the connectivity and security, you can find the endpoint, and the port number is 5432. So let me add that. 5432 is already added, and the maintenance database I have given as DataDB, right? If you remember, it's DataDB. So let me even it's DataDB, fine. And the username I have given as iNeuron underscore user, right? iNeuron underscore user. Uh, Now let's try to add the password. So this is this password which I have just configured while creating my PostgreSQL, right? And everything is set. So let's click on save. Yeah. So my instance got created. So if I try to expand, so if I try to expand databases here, I can find this database DB. And here I have the schemas. Right now I don't have any schemas. I have just public schema, right? And even if I just check into public schema, so into some tables. So right now I don't have any tables. So we have successfully connected my PostgreSQL, that is AWS PostgreSQL to my PG admin. Hello everyone, welcome back. So we are done with this step, right? So we have created a PostgreSQL, and even to work with that PostgreSQL, we have connected with PG admin. So alternate option is you can just even do with the PGCLI, fine. So the next step is, so I need to create a schema called app, right? So under the app, I need to add a table called order so that I can upload all the data. So whatever I've just showed you, right? So that is order.csv file. So let me complete this particular step. Okay, so I have just uh, signed into my what PG admin, right? So if I try to expand the databases, I have this data DB which I'll be working under this, right? So let's go and create a new schema, right? So I'll just expand here, and under the schema, what I'll do, I'll click on right click and click on schema. So my schema name will be app, right? And I'll click on save. So my app schema got created. So the next step is under the schema, I need to create what? A table. So I'll just click on create. So I need to create a table. Fine. And my table name will be what? Order. Okay. So you can just enter order, and even you can just click what are the different columns you have. Let's do it in a query. Okay. So I'll just close this. So I'll try to open this as a query tool. Fine. So let me zoom in a little bit. Yeah. So let's create. So I'll type create a table. If not exists, that is app dot order, right? And app dot order, enter. So first we have a order ID, right? So if you have seen the data set, so first we have a order ID. I'll take that as a varchar, okay, of 50. Fine. So then I take about, okay. So next is a customer, right? I have the customer order ID. So make sure you add the same name, order ID of varchar. I'll add the varchar of 50. Fine. Enter. So next we have order status. Order status of varchar of 20. So next we have order purchase underscore timestamp. This is what the column name is, and it will be of times stamp. I'll give comma. So let me check. So next we have, let me open this orders. So we've added what? Order status, order purchase timestamp. Then we have a order approved art, right? So let me copy this so that order approved art, and it will be of timestamp. Fine. So next we have ordered delivered carrier date. So let me copy this, paste it over here, and this is also a timestamp, comma. So the next is ordered customer day, order delivered customer date, timestamp. Okay. So the next we have the last, that is order estimated delivery date. Copy this and let me paste it over here, and it's of time stamp. Fine. So now let me close this properly. Fine. So I've created a table if not exist. So I've dot order. So we have order ID, then we have order customer order ID, then we have order status, then we have order purchase timestamp, right? So then we have order approved, not carrier date and everything. Okay, so let's me create this table. So let me execute this query. Okay, so now if I do select star from app dot order. Okay, so let me run this. So right now the table has created and we don't have any order. Okay, so let me upload this. So even if I just refresh this particular schema, so let me refresh this, and if I get into this app and scroll down inside the table, so we have our order table has been created. I'll just right click. So here you have an option of import or export data. So before that, I'll just close this particular CSV file. Yeah. So order export data. So utility file not found. Okay. So if you're getting this error, so just click OK. Go to the file preferences. Uh, uh, preferences here. Just a second. Object properties. Okay, not here. Preferences. Binary path. Yeah. So in the binary path, so you need to check the 14. So okay, just scroll down. Just scroll down, and yeah, so make sure you check this. Right now this is what the binary path which is set, that is PostgreSQL 14. Just check this and click on save. Okay, I'll just show you once again. Go to the file preferences, And if I just go to the path here, binary path, and if I just scroll down a little bit, so here just select this and click on save. Okay, so I need to restart this or else I'll get error. I'll just close this because already table has been created. I'll just click on leave. So let me open my PG admin once again. Here the password. So even my so this is the server password which I need to enter. Fine, it got connected. So let me open the database. So this is my DB. If I go to the schema, so this is my schema. Right. So under this we have our tables. So we have this order table, right click. So open, click on import or export data. So now I'm getting, so if you're getting same error, make sure, not error, if you're getting some pop-up, like it's not opening this window, make sure you just go to the file and click on binary path and check that particular option. Fine. So so here, make sure you're in import, right? And the file name I need to select, I'll just select this. So I have created a folder called a project 3. I'll go to my download section, project 3, it's orders. I'll open that. So as soon as I select that, so format is CSV. If you any other format, right? So you can just select it. If you go to the options, so here we have different options like what is the delimiter, quote or escape, right? So whether the header is included. Yes, my in my data there is header included. Make sure to check this, right? If I just scroll down, okay, so there's nothing. So if I go to the columns, here you're able to find all the columns. In some case, okay, if you're not able to find it, make sure to just select that. Okay, right now it's automatically deleted all these columns, right? So I think it's everything is set. We'll click on okay. So copying that table, I update order on the database DB and the server, and successfully completed. So now if I try to open this in a query tool and let me check whether the data is present or not. So that is select star from app dot order, and let me run this. Yes, so you can see I can find the data over here, right? Fine. So this step is completed, right? So our the source setup part is complete. So we have first customer data which is being dumped in S3, and we have orders data, so which is coming and dumping into my Postgres SQL in the real time. You can just think as this scenario. And right now we have app.data in my Postgres SQL, and we have a customer data in S3. So now let's move on to the next section so that we can how we can just bring that data into the destination, and we can do a transformation, and finally we can get into visualization as well. Hello everyone, welcome back. In this video, let's create an account for the Informatica Cloud, right? So it comes with the 30 days free trial. So let's search for IICS 30 days of free trial. So sign up for your free cloud trail now. Okay, so let me select this. Okay. Or else you can just go with this option directly, that is cloud integration 30 days. So don't select this specifically for data integration. So let me just sign up for the 30 days free trial for the cloud version. So here, yes, I need to enter these details. Let me enter quickly. Copy my, it's project on. Okay. Let me add it here. My work address, organization name. Then the country. I'll just select the country over here. State. Okay, so just confirm this terms and condition. And if you want some other data location, you can select it. I just kept it for the Asia, right? So click on start free trade. Yeah. So I need to look for the mail. You can see I got a mail. So I need to click on verify now. Yeah. So here I need to enter the password. Security question, terms and conditions, and click on submit. Yeah. So here, so first option you'll get like, so which source and target are interested. So we are working with A1 S3 and A1 the Postgres. So let me select the S3 and click on continue, or else you can just don't show this again. Yeah. So right now these are the different services which is available in my Informatica Cloud, right? So like we have data integration, application integration console, we have application integration. So we'll be working with the data integration, but you can get into this administrator, right? So where you will be seeing all the details regarding your account, okay, and about the connectors as well, right? So here the more important part. So first thing here you need to see is all about the organization ID, right? And the next setting you need to know is all about the runtime environment. So if I click on runtime environment, so there'll be one environment which will be a cloud version, that is Informatica Cloud hosted agent. So this agent should be present whenever you are connecting with some other sources, right? So whether it's S3 or Postgres or any other databases or any other connectors. And if you want to install it, okay, so even you can just do that, but in our project we'll not be using this because we are dealing with the cloud, right? So we'll not be downloading the secure agent. Next is all about the connections. If I get into connections here, so right now so there is a no connection, so I can just click on new connection, do the setups. We have connectors in case while connecting, okay, so it comes with some default connectors, like you can just connect with your local file system or some databases, but there are some connectors which is not available by default, right? For example, S3 or some other like Postgres. So for that you need to search it and you click on start free trade, fine. So this is what the two important sections you need to know about, the connections as well as add-on connectors. And apart from this, if you want to see all about your settings, right, and all about the license thing, okay, you can just come under this administrator and you can just check it. And right now I'm in administrator, so I can just switch back to my data integration as well, right? So I can just switch back, and here I can see all the data integration tab, okay, so where I can connect with the different components, right? So this will be exploring, okay, so once we get into further session. Hello everyone, welcome back. So now the next step is, so we have completed my source part, right? So now let's work on to my the loading section, right? So in the loading, right, so whenever I want to get the data from source to destination, so I need to have some data integration tool. So in this project we are using Informatica Cloud. So we have seen like how to set up, how to create an account in a previous video, right? So now in this video, so when we are performing the data integration, right, so the most important part is to have the connections, right? How to connect my Informatica with my sources, okay? So let's see that in this video. So I have signed into my IICS account, right? So it comes with a different cloud services, like we have API manager, API portal, application integration console, data integration, administrator, monitor, and operational insights, right? So right now, first let's get into administrator. So even we can just switch back to this services in the tab above. Okay, so I'll just show you from where you can just switch to this different services. So once I get into my administrator, right? So here you can find the organization details. So if I just scroll down, the most important part is to check the runtime environment. So there is Informatica Cloud host agent, which is up and running. So make sure this is up and running. So whenever you're making connections, right? So this is very much important, right? So next I'll just go to the connections. So if I want to click on new connection, if I click on new connection here, Fine. So here I need to give the connection name and the type. So here we have some standard, like we have flat file, we have FTP, then we have a MySQL, ODBC connector, SQL, but my connectors is not visible, right? For example, I want to connect to the S3, right? Because the customer data is in the S3, as well as the orders data in the different database, that is in the Postgres SQL, right? So I'm not able to find these connectors. So what I can do is, so I'll just close this discard, because I don't have those connectors to make a new connection. So what I'll do, I'll click on this add-on connectors. In the add-on connectors, it comes like, so when you're working with the free trail, so here you need to start the free trail of these connectors, but in real time, like whenever you're working in certain companies, all those connectors are already made available to you, right? So let me search for first S3. So as soon as I click on S3, so here we have a Amazon S3 connector, right? So which is Informatica Intelligent Cloud Services connected for the Amazon S3, right? So you need to click on the start free trail, right? And I'm getting a pop-up that a 30 days trail of Amazon S3 connector connection will be provisioned to your organization. I'll click on OK. Fine. So as soon as I click onto this, so this connector is added to my connections, right? So connections, in the sense, I can, while connecting the connections, while creating the connection, I can make use of this connector. So now I've added S3. I'll go to my connection. Fine. I'll click on new connection. So I'll give the connection name. I'll give S3 underscore customer, because in S3 we have a customer data, right? I'll just give underscore a data. So I'll just mention here. So this is customer data, right? And the type. So if I try to expand, so I can find here that Amazon S3, that is Informatica Cloud, right? Just select that. So as I click on select that, there are a few properties and connection sections which I need to fill in to have the connection with my S3 bucket. So first is the Amazon S3 V2 properties. So runtime environment. So I already told you about runtime environment, right? So which help us to have the connection with my connectors. So what happened? So let me expand this. Happened. Okay, I'm just reloading it. Uh, Let me go to my add-on connectors. Okay, let me discard that first. Let me go to the connections. Let me go to the connections. Click on new connections. Remember that we need to do all these connections under the administrator tab, right? Connection name, I'll give S3 underscore customer underscore data. So here I'll give as description, that is customer data. Then the type, so it's Amazon S3 Informatica Cloud. Next is runtime environment. So runtime environment is Informatica Cloud host agent. Just select that. And we need few things here, like I need what a secret key as well as the access key. So primarily we're getting this. So I'll go to my AWS, right? So what I'll do, let me open this in a new tab. So I'll just scroll down. I'll go to my security credentials. I'll go to the security credentials. So here you have access keys. I'll try to expand that. So let me create a new access key. So before creating access key, okay. So anyways, this keys you should not share with anyone. Anyways, I'm just showing it here because after this I'll be deleting the secret access key so that you'll not be able to access those secret key as well as the access key as well. Okay, so it's good option to always to download that key, right? And if I try to expand this show access key, so here if I click on show access key, I'm able to get both access key ID and secret access key ID. I just copy that so that whenever it's required, I'll be able to access those things, right? I'll just add it over here. Fine. So let me copy this. So first is access ID. I'll copy this and I'll paste it in my access key section. Page underscore can't wait for become wait. Okay, so let me close and let me open it, or else I'll be getting the same error. So this is my URL, right? So you'll receive this through your email address. So I'll just copy this. I'll go to the administrator. I'll go to the connections, new connection, customer data, and the description is customer data, and the type is Amazon S3, runtime environment is this, fine, and I'll paste my access key, so which I just copied. Make sure you follow the same steps or else you will get error, fine. Then the secret key. So this is the entire one is the secret key. Fine. So next is I need to add the folder path. So folder path is basically a bucket name. So I've already shown you the bucket name, right? So which I've just make a note of it, right? So this, if you just make a note of it, will be easy for you. That is ETL project 3. Let me add that. ETL project 3. So my region is Mumbai. Anyways, there is my system is getting page unresponsive. Let's wait. Let's save the connection. Okay, so that so I can just get back and fill the details, remaining details. Yeah, so this is what you need to enter it. Okay, so you need to enter the connection name, description and type is mandatory, right? So then this wherever you can see that red asterisk, right? So basically it's what mandatory thing. Let me reload. I don't know why this issue is coming up. Anyways, I'll just fix this. Okay, so let me start in the next week. Hello everyone, welcome back. You can see I've entered the same details here. Okay, so like customer name, description, type, and the runtime environment, as well as the access key, secret key. Then I've entered the folder path and just clicked on the test connection. You can see my connection is successful. Let me save these connections. Okay, I click on save. Fine. So I just successfully created my S3 customer data connection. If I click onto this connections now, I can find this connection. So anytime if you want to modify it, just select this, click on edit, right? So click on edit and you will be able to modify any of the details. Okay. So we have successfully connected my Informatica cloud with S3. Hello everyone, welcome back. So similarly, so how we have connected with the S3, now let's go and create with the Postgres, right? So I'll click on, so before that we need to add that connector because the connector is not available by default. So let me add connector and search for Postgres. Okay, so I'll click on start free trial and click on OK. Fine. So it got added. So I'll go to the connections click on new connection. So the first connection, whatever I am making is so for this, right? So that is for the vendor data dot customer. So still have not yet created this, but so I'm moving this customer, sorry, I'm moving this order app data to the Postgres, right? But I need some integration. That's what I'm connecting. That is with I need to connect with the app dot order, which is there in my Postgres SQL. So let me open here, and the connection name I'll give as Postgres underscore order, right? I'll just mention it here as AWS. Fine. And order data in a source. And this, if I try to click on select, that is the type, it's a Postgres SQL Informatica Cloud. Select that. And the runtime environment is Informatica Cloud hosted agent. Then I need to give the host name. So already have saved all the details, right? So let me copy this host name. And the port is 5432. So port is 5432. Database name, so it is DataDB if you remember, right? DataDB. And the username, so username I'll give as, you can enter the schema level connection also, but I'll just keep it default. Username I've given as inuron underscore user, right? And I'll enter the password. So this is the same password. So when I created the my Postgres SQL, right? And let me test this connection. Yeah, finally, the test for this connection was successful. I click on save connection. So I'm done with connections, right? So if I go to my connections, so I can find the two connection. One is with the Postgres and one is with SQL data, right? So now we are done with the data integration, right? So we have integrate. I mean, like we have not completed the stuff, but when we have already, we have made the connection from IICS, that is Informatica Cloud, to my all the sources, right? So now let's move on to the next section. Okay, welcome back. So now we have completed this part, right? So the next part is before moving the data, right? So before doing the ETL step, that is extracting the data from S3 to my Postgres SQL. So I need to first even create what? A database, right? Because so I'm using the same Postgres SQL as my source as well as the destination here, right? So you can see. So even for the destination also, I'm getting this CSV data into the Postgres SQL. Okay, the same Postgres SQL. I'm not created separately, right? So enter this, we need to create what? A schema called vendor data, and the table name will be customer. So that whenever I'm doing the ETL step, that is, I'm just getting the data from CSV to the vendor dot customers. Okay, so let's see how we can just do this step. Fine. So let's start. So what we'll do is first let's create a what a vendor schema, then let's create a table in it, right? So let me do that particular step. So let me open my PG admin. So right now I'm in the schema, right? So app schema. So let me go and create one more schema, because right now I'll be working with the vendor schema. So this, I'll create a new schema. So my schema name will be vendor data, right? VEND, vendor data. I'll click on save. Yeah, so vendor data added. So let me open this in a query tool. Fine. So here let's create a table. So because before uh, adding the data from my source to destination, so in the destination, of course, there should be a table, right? So where I'll be pushing the data when I'm performing the ETL step. So before putting the, before connecting, before doing that ETL step, I need to have the table in my destination, right? So even we can create it by default, okay? Even though there's no table, we can do it with help of Informatica Cloud. But yeah, so in this step, like let's create the table, okay? That is vendor data. Sorry, customer table, right? So let's create. So create a table if not exists, that is a vendor data dot customer. Fine. Vendor data dot customer. So first I have the customer ID. So let me open that data set. I'll just show you so that it will be easy for me to create a tables, right? So even I have told you, so from Informatica we can directly add it. Okay, even I'll just show you that step. Okay, when I'm do that ETL process. Fine. So let me add it here. So customer ID. So this will be of a varchar of 50. Okay, varchar of 50. So then we have a zip code. I'll add varchar of 50. Then we have a city. Okay, this will be of a varchar of 50. So then we have a state code. So I'll just show you that. Then we have a state code of varchar of 50. Okay. So then we have a date, time created, and time. So where is that my data? Yeah. So date, time created. Let me add here, and let me add varchar itself. And finally, let's add one more, that is date, time updated. Okay. So let me close this. Yes. So yeah. So let me execute this. Uh, if not, exists, EXISTS. Fine. Table got created. So if I do select a star from vendor data dot customer, so this should be empty because this data will grab it when we do the ETL, right? So let me do, you can see right now it's empty. Okay, we don't have any data, right? So now let's perform EL, right? That is extracting and loading my data from S3 to the data warehouse, right? So this is what we're gonna do in the next step, because this is set, we have done the setup, and this setup is also we are done. So now with help of integration, data integration, that is with help of IICS, so I'm able to get the data from S3 to my destination, that is vendor data schema, into a table called customer. Hello everyone, welcome back. So now let's perform extract and load, that is from S3 to my Postgres SQL with help of IICS. So yeah, so let me switch to my data integration. So let's go to the data integration. Okay, so here, so first we need to, let's go and create a new project. So before this, so I'll click on explore, new project. I'll name this as a data pipeline. I'll click on OK. So inside this data pipeline, so let me create a new a mapping. Let me create a mapping. Click on create. Okay. So I have a source, I have a target, right? So what we'll do is, so getting the data from source to target, right? So even I can apply multiple transformations also in IICS. But in my project, so we have a clean data, so there are no such transformations required. But in real time, is of course we need to apply the transformations, right? So if I just scroll down, so we have a different types of, like there could be expression transformation, or if you want to do some unions or joins, right? So we have a different like filters, right? So we can perform all those things, and you can add that and finally load into my target. So now what we are doing, we are connecting with the source, that is my S3, and I'm just dumping into my target, that is the customer dot customer table, right? So this is what the first section we are doing. We are getting the data from S3 and dumping into my schema called vendor data, and then under that we have a table called customer, right? So this is what the step we are performing now. Okay, so now let's first click on the source. Okay, let me open this. Fine. So first I'll just give the name source itself. Okay, if you want to give some other name, it's also fine, right? So I'll keep it source. I'll go to the next section, that is source. So under the source, I need to connect what? I need to create a connection. So I already created, but on fly also you can just create a new connection. This also we can do it, right? So on fly, like if you're building some pipeline, right? So if you want to create a new connections, you can just do it. But already created. So let me expand this. So we have these two connections which we have created earlier, right? We have AWS Postgres connection and S3 connection. So right now I'm working with the S3 data connection, right? So after that, then I have to select the source type. So source type is object, is not a parameter, and I'll just click on what? A select. So once I click on select, so there will be a buckets which I need to select. Right now, this is my bucket. So if I try to select that, because I have connected with that particular bucket, right? And here I can find what? A customer.csv, right? It's very simple. I'll just select that and click on OK. So as soon as I click on OK, right? So my source setup is done. So if I want to preview some data, okay, before previewing, okay, make sure the format has to be flat, right? Because it's a CSV data, right? So just select that flat, and after selecting that flat as an option, click on this preview data, and this preview data will make sure that you can see the data, right? So whatever the data you're loading from the source to destination, you can just preview that particular data, right? And here we can see like the connection detail, the object, we have a customer ID, we have a zip code, city, state code, date time created as a date time updated, and all the data I can just preview from this particular section, right? So this is done. So what I'll do, so if you have any other advanced options, like if you want to query some if you have some query options, you can just enter it over here, right? So we can have like even the advanced section, right? If I try to expand that and scroll down, so we have the source type, folder, file, we can do about advanced connections as well. Next we have the fields. Okay, so in the field section, so it will show all the fields here, right? We have the customer ID as a name, then we have type, that is a string, then the precision and the scale and the origin. And similarly, that's what. So whenever you're connecting with a different source, right? So this is where the origin will have a clear idea from where I'm getting this particular data. Then we have a zip code, city, state code, date time created and date time updated. So apart from this, if you want to make some edit, so this is where you can edit the metadata, right? If I click on this edit metadata, if you want to change the some type or anything, okay, I can just change that. Okay, I can just do that particular. So even I can edit that. That's what I want to show. I can click on edit metadata, will be able to edit it. Fine. So I don't have anything to partition. So my source is set up. Okay. So my source is set up. So now I click on the target. So as soon as I click on the target, so right now I'm in the target section. So general, I'll keep it as target itself. Okay. So I'll go to the incoming fields. So because it's already connected with the source directly, if you have any transformations, you can just do it here, right? Okay. So now I'll just try to expand. So this is what the incoming fields is, right? We have a city, we have customer ID, date time created, updated, state updated, and even this is what we in the destination we have created the same table, right? I'll go to the target now. Now I need to connect the setup, right? So I'll click on connection. So my connection is AWS Postgres SQL, right? And the target type is single object, and click on the object, and now I need to select the object, right? So if you observe carefully, so we have a different schemas, right? So we have this vendor data. If you even see this chart, okay, if you're getting confused, you can just see this chart. This flow chart. So we have a vendor data, then under the schema, we have customers, right? So I'll just select this vendor data. And in the vendor data, we have which table. So because I'm working with tables, views, and right. So I'll just select that table, right? Inside that vendor data table, I have this customer. I'll just select that. I'll click on OK. Fine. So my target is set up, and the operation, this is very important stuff. And what is the operation I'm doing, right? So I'm performing insert, update, or insert or delete both. If I were performing both insert, update, I can just select that option. Then, or if I'm deleting some records or data driven, right, I'll click on insert, because right now first time I'm just inserting those records, right? So even you have an advanced option as well, right? Update mode. So what kind of a different update mode you want to set up, right? So this is what we have. Fine. So next is target fields. This is very much important, right? So these are the target fields. Carefully, just can just check what are the different target fields you have. And this is the field map. From where I'm getting the target fields, because I've already created the table there, right? So from there, that's what it's reflecting. And more important part is mapping. Okay, so once you're done with this, so this is the incoming fields and this is the target fields. So now I need to do mapping. So manually you can just drag and drop it. So here we have an option called manual, and even we have option of automatic. Just select the automatic, it will automatically map, right? For example, customer ID is mapped to the customer ID, zip code is mapped to zip code, city is mapped to city, state code is mapped to state code, even the date time created is also mapped to the date time created. In case if you have some like mismatch, what you can do, just you can just select this option as a manual and just drag and drop that particular thing. Fine. So now my source and target, everything is set up. I'll click on here save. Okay, so as I click on save, it will be validated and it will show some errors if we have, right? So you can see it's right now it's valid and my mapping was saved successfully. Okay, so we had done with all the connections. Okay, we have connected with the source and target. Okay, in case if you have some transformations in between, you can do it, right? So now let me run this mapping. Okay, so make sure it should work fine. So even I'll just show you. So before running it, so here if I just try to run this cell once again, so I don't have any data here, right? You can see I don't have any data. So let me run this particular mapping. I'll click on here run. Okay, my job, I'll open my jobs so that I can just track it. So right now it's starting. So here quickly, even you can just move it from the monitoring also. Even if I just like to open this in a new tab, okay, so even you can get into monitoring. Okay, and here also you can just monitor like all the logs and everything. Right now the status is running. Yeah, finally it's success and the row process is 100. Let me verify this in here. Yeah, it's success. So now if I go to my PG admin and let's do select star from vendor data.customer and execute it, and we are successfully loaded this particular data, right? So we have a customer ID, zip code, city, state code, date time created and date time updated, right? So we have completed successfully this particular step, right? So we have extracted the data from source to destination, right? So with help of a data integration tool, that is Informatica. And apart from this, okay, so if I go here, okay, so if I want to create that as an what a task also I can just create it, right? So right now I'm just running the map, but if you want to schedule it sometime like for the some specific time schedule, okay, even you can just do that, right? So if you are aware of Informatica tool, right, is what the prerequisite, okay, so to do this project. So even we can just do what you can just set up the pipeline, okay, so that it will execute on specific date and time, and even you'll get the notification and stuff, right? So we are done with the EL for E and EL for the AWS S3 data warehouse. So now let's do the some next section, okay, in the next video. Hello everyone, welcome back. So now, so if I see the flow chart, so this particular section is completed. Now we have already created this app.order, right? So now I need to create this operation.order, right? So operation will be my schema name and order will be my table name. I need to create this in my target so that I can just load the data from app.order to the operation.order with the help of IICS, right? So let me do that. So before we need to set up this part, okay? So let me go to my PG admin. Okay, so under this same DB, I'll go to the schema. Let me create a new schema. So my schema name will be operation. Fine. This is what the schema name is. I'll click OK. So let me open this in a query tool. So let me create a table here, right? Quickly. So create a table. If not exists, that is under operation dot order OPERATION operation dot order. This will be my table name. Fine. So first we have order ID. So let me open the order so that I can, yeah. First we have order ID, right? Order ID will be of varchar of 50. So then we have, let me close this custom. Then we have a customer ID, and this will be of varchar of 50. Of status, varchar of 50. Order purchase timestamp. Okay, so this is timestamp, right? Order of product. Stamp. And last we have order estimated delivery date. Fine. So let me run this. Where it was successful. If I try to check this, that is, select star from operation dot order. You can see, so I don't have any data, but table got created. So now let's move on to the next section. Hello everyone, welcome back. So now let's move on to the next section. So that is, we need to move data from app.order to the operation.order with help of IICS, right? So let me do that. So I'm just going to my IICS. So under, if I go to the my Explorer, under the data pipeline, I created one mapping, right? So let me create one more mapping. I'll go to the new and click on the mapping. Let me click on create mapping. So here, let's do this step, right? So which I've already done for the S3. So under the source, so I'll just go to the source here. And the connection this time is my Postgres order, right? So my Postgres order and source is the single object. So let me select this. And what is the schema name? So if you remember, just get back here. And the schema name is app.order, right? So inside the app, inside the table, we have what? Order. I'll just select that. Click on OK. Fine. And yeah, so I'll go to the fields. So this is what my fields is, right? And I don't have any partition. Fine. Now let's go to the target. So my target incoming fields. So this is what incoming fields is. Let's click on the target. So my connection is again AWS, okay? And it's single object. So let me select it. And if I just check the flow chart, right now it's operation.order, right? I'll go to the operation and inside the table we have what? A order, right? I'll click on. Okay. So it's insert operation. Let's go to the target fields. So all the target fields, let's go to mapping and let me make it automatic. And let's do final check. Okay, so customer ID is not okay. So this is not mapped. So here you can just map it. That is customer ID. Customer ID is mapped with customer ID. Customer, the name is slightly different. Okay, doesn't matter. Let's map it. So that's what, say, I just told you, right? So whenever the name is not matching, it will throw error. So here we have a customer status, customer purchase, and approved. Fine. I think all the tables are no, still this is there. Fine. Let me delivery, customer date, and the state. Fine. So this is all set. So let me click on save and check whether this is valid or not. Yeah, it's valid. Shall we run? Okay. So I click on run here, and even I can just open this in a new tab, that is my jobs, and even the monitor also. You can see right now it's starting, and even in the jobs also you can just check it's starting. So it will take few minutes. So depending upon the data records you have, right? Yeah, it's success, and here it should also show success. Yeah, finally. Let me go to my this and let me run this once again. Yeah, so we are finally able to load the data. So we have completed this step, that is loading the data from app.order to the operation.order, right? So we are done with extracting and loading. So we can do a transformation with help of DBT also, right? So let's try to do that. But in real time, if you're using the ISUs, we can even transform some data, right? So while extracting and loading it, right? So even you can just perform those steps. Hello everyone, welcome back. In this video, let's do the setup for the DBT Cloud, right? So I'll show you how to create a account in a DBT. Okay, just search for DBT Cloud. So enter DBT Cloud here. So this is my DBT. So DBT Cloud, create a free account. So I need to enter the email address. Okay, so here let me add search engine. Okay, I'll agree terms and conditions. Click on create account. So I got a welcome to the DBT Cloud, and I need to verify I'll be getting a mail. Okay. So let me check whether I got a mail or not. I got the mail. Okay, let's verify the email address. Yes. So my account got verified, and so here you can just quickly start with a warehouse. So right now I'm working with Postgres. You click on next, and this setup will do it. Okay. So once we proceed with the with this session, okay. So we can just register it. Okay. So now let's move on to the next section. Hello everyone, welcome back. So in the previous video, we have set up the DBT, right? So DBT Cloud. So now we need to complete this project setup. Okay, so let's try to do this. So automatically when you create a new project, right? So by default, it will be selected as analytics. Okay, so we can't change this. This is the first the project. Okay, so by default, which is selected, and even you can see the project name from this particular section, right? So that is analytics. So next is I need to choose the warehouse. So in my case, the warehouse is Postgres, right? So let me go and select the Postgres and click on next. So next is I need to give the warehouse, that is Postgres is already selected, and the name I need to give it. I'll give it as like Postgres SQL. Then I need to give the host name. So if you remember, like we have uh, created all this endpoints, port, a DB name, username, and the password in some separate node, right? So I can just copy, I can directly access from here. And if you have not done, so basically we need to enter this particular endpoint, right? So let me copy this, or if you have made a note of it, you can just add that in the host name. Then the port, so the port is 5432, right? So 5432. And the database name, so the database name here, so if you remember the database name we are working with here is DataDB, right? So let me enter that. So DataDB, fine. So then I need to enter the development credentials. So that is the username and the password, and I need to select the schema also. Fine. So what I'll do, I'll just replace the schema underscore. I'll just enter as data, dbt underscore data, and the username. So if you remember, while configuring, I have given the username as Iniron user. So let me give that user, that is Iniron user, Iniron underscore user. So then then the password. So let me enter the password. Fine. And the target name, I'll keep it default. Fine. Or else if you have any other target name, so you can just select it. Okay. So I'll just keep it default, and threads you can just keep it like as it is. So is there anything I want to change? Okay. So let me check. So I need to add some IP address to my Postgres before connecting. Yeah. So I have IP restriction. Yeah. So this is for Postgres, sorry. Fine. So let me check once. Okay. So if I go to my DBT dashboard, so I need to check the connection. Okay. So let me click on test connection. Your test completed successfully. You are good to go. Okay. I think this is got created. Okay. You can just check. Okay. We have added the name, that is Postgres SQL. Then under the setting, we have added the host name, port, database is very important. Okay, so where we are need to select, like I need to select what is the database I'll be using, right? Which already created, because under it we have all the different schemas. So if you have remember, right? So there are different schemas we had: app, operation. Okay, we have vendor data, right? So let me select the database. Then the user and the schema is like, see here, for this schema is basically, here they have mentioned in development, DBT will build models into a schema with this name. So whatever the models we're gonna build, okay, so it will be under this name, that is DBT underscore data. And this schema name should be unique to your person development environment and should not be shared by any other members of your team, right? So let me click on next. So I'm just saving my connection. Uh, Fine. So next I need to create a repository. So this is a good practice, like, so if you want to if you want to connect with the git clone, like if you want to git clone or GitHub or GitLab, so I'll just go with the manage, so that everything will be managed by the DBT itself, right? So I'll just give here as any name, like data engineering project underscore ETL. Fine. So this is my name. So let me click on create. Okay, so repository is created, but whenever you are doing with the DBT CLI, right? So we have, even we can just do Git setup there also. So I'm just using cloud version. So here we can just set up repository under managed. Okay, if you have any other repository, yes, we can do it. Yes. So our project is ready. Okay, so I can just directly get into my analytics and check. Like you can see right now, I'm working under this particular project that is analytics, right? So if I go to my development tab or develop tab, so I can just directly go to the develop. Okay, so from here you can just click on the develop, or if you want to get into deploy, okay, that like if you want to check like previous run history, jobs, environment, and data sources from this section. So right now I'm in the develop tab, right? So the very important step, okay, so once you have just logged in, is to initialize, right? So whenever you're doing DBT CL, whenever you're working with the DBT CL, right? So first, what is the first step? We do DBT init, right? Similarly, so whenever we are starting a project, we need to initialize the DBT project. So as right now you can see in the my file explorer, I don't have any files or folders, right? So DBT is all about the files and folders. So when we say models, is basically SQL statements, right? So let me go and initialize my DBT project. As soon as I initialize, here you can just find all the important files which help us me to work with the models as well as the DBT, right? So I click on initialize DBT project. Yeah, so here you can see so all the files got created like analysis, logs, macros, model, seeds, snapshot, test, right? So all the files got created, and here you can see like this is like modified. Initially it's modified. Okay, so right now we can even commit this is added part. So even if I just try to do here like commit and push, like I can just add so this is my first commit and click on commit changes. So all the marks will be gone because so you can see right now it's pushing. So yeah, so I don't have anything to commit, so it's now clean. Okay, I have not done any modification. M is modified and A is added. Fine. So my setup is done, right? So even we have connected with the Postgres, and now I can create models, and I can do some of the transformations, okay, which I can just connect after doing the transformations. Okay, so then I can connect with my any BI tool to visualize the particular data, right? So we are done with the setup, so let's move on to the next section. Hello everyone, welcome back. So now I can create models, right? So DBT, DBT uses select queries to create models, right? Generally what we do is we keep the raw data as the staging, right? And we do the transformation on this table to get the final tables. So we created the staging for, let's create the staging folder. Okay, so once we create the staging folder, so then we can create models. So in the staging folder, we'll have all this raw data, and whatever the raw data we have in my staging, so I'll be transforming that. Fine. So this is how this is what I'm gonna do now. Fine. So let me do that. So if I go to my I'm just sharing all these resources with you so that it will be easy for you to work with. So first under the models right now you can see there's one example model, right? So even you can just do DBT run to check whether it's everything is working fine or not, right? So I'll just directly start to create models. So what I'm doing is first let me create a model, right? And let me create a folder called staging, and under that we'll have a staging customer.sql, right? So we are with help of select statements, what you're doing. So we are just selecting select star from vendor data.customers, from where I'm getting this vendor data. So this is my vendor data, right? So if I just go and check here, this is my vendor data. Fine. So in the vendor data, I'm just selecting the customer ID, zip code, city, state code from the source, and the source is my select star from vendor.customer, and I'm doing the select star from what stage customer, right? So I'm just creating a simple model, okay, under the staging. This will be my stage customer. So similarly, I'll be doing a stage order. Okay, so this is my order, right? So if I just check it even in the database, sorry, in the warehouse. So here, this is my order table, right? So I'm just creating a one more a stage as a stage order.sql. So under this, we are selecting like from operation.order, and we're selecting what a distant order ID, customer ID, and order status, and even the order purchase timestamp. So we're not selecting all the columns, we are just selecting like which are the column which is required for my transformation, and which is gives some useful information. Okay, so based on that I have just selected certain columns. Okay, so this is what we need to add, and finally we need to create a schema, right? So this schema is basically contains some of the test, okay, so as well as under the staging customer, I have a columns like customer ID. I've created the test, it should be not null. So basically I have few tests. Okay, so before uploading data, uploading a data to like whenever we are running a DBT run, so it should satisfy all this test, right? So here I'm just checking the not null for the customer ID, and for the order ID I'm just checking for it should be unique and it should be not null. And this is for the staging order. Okay, for the staging customer you're just doing one test, that is a customer ID not null. Fine, and let me run this, and then finally I'll just go through this once again. So let me copy this. Okay, let me copy this, and let me go here and click on create file, and okay, so before first let's add this part. So let me copy this and let me add over here. Fine. Yeah, so it's saved already. So yeah, so let me go back and save this file. Line 11, select star. I have not copied properly from source. From So let me check. So with source as select star from vendor data dot customer, stage as select from source. Then I'm doing select star from customer stage. Syntax error at near from this OURC. Everything is correct. So I'm just checking the preview of it. Okay, so that like after creating it should not throw any error, right? Why it's showing error? Let me copy this. Yeah, so you can see, so I'm getting the data. So before, I mean like before creating a model, so we have an option to preview and even the compile, right? So that before creating a model, it is a good practice to preview the a code, right? So that whatever the model you're building, so that if any errors, you can just fix it, right? So before creating a model itself, right? So this is, I'm getting the uh, okay, so let me save this. Okay, so in the previous video, we have tried saving it, right? So DBT keeps on updating the UI. Okay, so right now you can see the branch is main and it's only read more. So if I try to create a new file, it will not do any modification. Here you can see I'm not able to create any new models. So first let's create a branch. I'll just name this branch as ETL branch. Okay, our transformation branch. transformation branch. Okay, so as soon as I change the branch, okay, so here you can see, so right now I'm in the transformations branch, and even I can see all these files. Okay, so make sure to change the branch or else you'll not able to create any files. So in the previous video, right, so we were working on to this, right? So first we want to create a folder called staging. Okay, so let me create a folder, and the folder name will be staging, staging. So make sure you enter all the details properly so that you'll not do any mistake. Okay, staging, staging. I'll just create this staging. Fine. So let me expand this more. Sorry, it's not macros. If I try to expand these models, have the staging, and inside the staging, so let me create a file, and the file name will be what? A staging customer, right? So stg underscore customer customer dot SQL. So this will be my model. I click on create. Fine. So my under staging, you can see the staging.sql dot created. So let me copy this the same code here, so whatever we have executed in the previous video. So let me copy this, and let me paste it over here, and let me come preview once again. Okay, so I'll be getting okay, so I not remove this this here, so I'll be getting error. Make sure just remove that comma and click on preview once again. Okay, so I'm getting it data, right? So even you can just compile, even you can just see like whatever it's required, right? So this is what, so I'll just click on save here. So my staging customer.sql is got created. So I'll just go to the staging once again. I'll click on this button, and one more file be creating, and this file will be what? A staging order, right? So I'll just give stg underscore order dot a SQL, right? So I click on create. So let me copy the same code over here. So let me copy the same code. So I have mentioned like how the path will be. Fine. So let me copy this. Control C, and let me paste it over here. Fine. So let me do the preview once again for this operation.order, so that it has been linked to my PostgreSQL, right? So I see I'm able to get the data from there. Fine. So yeah, I'm getting order ID, customer ID, order status, and everything. Fine. So let me save this also. Fine. So the next step is, so now we have written, we have created two models, and the next is we have to create a schema.ml to check, like to basically test, to run the test, right? So on the few columns. So what I'll do, I'll go to the staging. So let me go and create a file, and this will be my schema.ml file, right? I'll just create that. Okay, schema.ml, you can see schema.ml file got created, and I'll explain all the code once again once my model executes correctly. Fine. So let me copy this, and let me paste it over here. Fine. Fine. So let me save this. Yeah. So let me save this. Okay, so basically this ML, in short, okay, so this ML file basically contains a customer ID of a staging customer model that should not have a null values. Okay, this is the first condition, and second condition is like order ID of the stage order model should not have the null values and should be unique. Fine. And the customer ID of staging order should not have the null values and the should be unique. These are the different condition I've mentioned it. And finally, we have order status of the staging order should only have the delivered or shipped. Okay, this is what the options I'm just looking for. Okay, so this is done. So now the next step, very important step, is to create a final model. Fine. So to create a final model, so what we'll do is first we'll create a folder called final. Fine. So you can see, so this is my structure, folder structure. So first we have a staging. Under staging we have a schema.ml, we have a staging customer.sql, right? And then we have staging underscore dot SQL. So this everything is done. So the next is to create our final models. What I'll do, I'll just create a folder called final, and under that let's create a final model. I'll go to here models. Okay, so let me create a folder, and this folder name will be what? A final. Fine. So let me create this. So inside the final, so let me create a file, and the file name will be customer underscore order dot SQL. Okay, so this will be my model name, right? So I'll just click on create. Fine. So my customer order dot SQL got created. So now let's try to add the code. Okay, that is whatever the query is in the next video. Hello everyone, welcome back. So now let's create a customer order dot SQL. Okay, so this will be my final model. So what we'll do is first let me paste this. So already have shared this resources with you. Fine. So first we need to this is what the transformation we are doing. Okay, so I'll explain this. Okay, so let me execute this successfully, then I'll explain the code. Fine. So in short, so what I'm doing is, so in this script basically we are using a ref function, right? So this ref function will recognize the dependencies, okay, using the file names whatever we have given, like staging customer and staging order. Then this customer order model will provide the order status as a flag. Okay, so whether like it is delivered, or whether it's what order delivered or not, right? So this is what the status I'll be getting it. Fine. So I'll let me save this. So and inside the final, so even we need to create a schema.ml, right? So let me create a file, and the file name I'll just give it as schema.ml file. So let me create the schema.ml file. So already the ml file has been added. So here I'm just selecting the order ID, right? And I'm just making sure that checking that it should be what not null, right? Fine. So let me save this. Okay. So the first, so here let run this. Okay. So first we need to what? First let me execute this. Okay. I'll just show you the output. So then I'll explain. So whatever we have written here, right? So let me start. Hello everyone, welcome back. So now let me run this. I'll just type a dbt build. So it's finding the 5 models here, right? It's 11 tests. So fails 4 accepted values, stage underscore orders delivered status, accepted value stage order delivered shipped. Okay, so let me see only the errors part. It's unique staging order. Fine, so let me fix this errors. Okay, so I'll just rerun once I fix this errors. Hello everyone, welcome back. So here, so we don't have an error. So so wherever we got an error, okay, so it's basically a test failed error. I'll just show you that. Okay, so when I go to my a DBT status. Okay, so here we have all the details. So if I just want to see specifically, okay, so I'll just scroll down here. So my first DBT model got created. Even the staging customer and staging order also got created. So let me verify that. I'll just go here. Okay, so let me refresh this entire data, right? So entire database. So after refreshing, so here you can see this is what the schema we have given, right? So if you remember, that is a DBT data, right? So let me expand this DBT data. So if I try to expand, so here under the tables, so we have a first DBT model. Okay, this is the I'm getting from the example. Okay, so if you remember, like we had the example folder as well, right? So just like hello world kind of model, right? So here we have first DBT model, right? And if I just scroll down, okay, this is what it got created, fine. And apart from this, so if I just check the views, okay, so we have, so basically it has been configured by default as a view. We have a staging customer, okay, so even we have a staging order. So if I just go and do view some, like view for some data, okay, so even I can just do that and see I'm getting the data, that is customer ID, city, and the state code, right? And this is for the stage customer, right? So when I created a model, so let me verify. So when I created a model, so if I go to the staging customer, so we have created what? A customer ID, zip code, city, and the state code, right? So I'm getting all the data here, but while loading, okay? So while loading, so if I go and verify in my DBT run, okay, so that is, sorry, not in DBT run. So if I go to my Postgres, so I have the customer ID, city, and state code, and few other columns are missing, right? So what are the other columns are missing? So if I verify it from here, okay, so let me do this. Okay, we have customer ID, you can see. So we don't have zip code. Okay, zip code is missing. Okay, so then we have a city. So city is there. State code is also there, right? So only the zip code is not visible, right? So only the zip code is not there. Okay, let me go and check in the schema part. So if we have added any condition in that. So if I go here and try to expand this, we have schema dot mel here. So stage customer not null. Okay, basically this thing is got created, right? So if I just go and check, so even the staging dot customer got created, and even the stage order also got created. So this, in this we don't have any problem, right? So that's what even I can just verify from my DBT run. If I go and check, uh, here, yeah, so this is what I got it. So next, so we got what? An error. So if I try to expand this and get into detail, so here accept the value, stage order status delivered and shipped, fine. So here what is the error I'm getting is, so if I just scroll down, uh, so I'm getting here, yeah. So 4 of 16 fail accepted. Okay, so here, so you can see out of 16, okay, 4, so 4 of 16 fail. Okay, so 4 accepted values. Okay, so that is shift. Okay, that's what I'm getting the fail error here, fine. So here what I can do is, so it's not a kind of error. Okay, so we can just remove the testing, like whatever we have added, right? From DBT data stage. So let me verify, because this got created, but this is missing, right? So if I go to my Postgres, and so final model is, I'm not able to check it here. Yes, final model is not there. Okay, so that's what, so rest everything I got it. The staging part I got it, right? So that is the staging order as well as the staging a customer. But the same, if I just trying to run this in my customer.order under the preview, I'm getting the data. Okay, so here I'm getting the data. I don't, I'm not getting any error. that is a customer ID, order ID as well as delivered. And here I can see like wherever the order is delivered, we have marked it as 1, and wherever it's not delivered is marked at 0. So here you can just identify properly. So here it's not okay. So it's um, marked at 0. Fine. So this data we are getting it. Okay. But so I'm not able to find this customer order.sql, right? So let me see if I'm done any mistake here. So while compilation, so if I try to compile, okay, the staging and the staging order. This is what the two staging we have, right? So I'm just doing the transformation on that. Schema, the customer order is also correct. Fine. Anyways, so let me fix this and I'll just show you the output. So for the customer order, because anyways we got this stage customer as well as stage order. We have missed with the customer order. So let me try to fix that. Hello everyone, welcome back. So the next command executed is dbt run. Okay, so dbt build was executed. It checked the few tests as well, right? And in the dbt run, okay, so you can see like all the it's the same code. I have not changed anything. I just did the dbt run. So here you can see the first dbt model got created, staging.customer, the stage order got created, and even this customer order also created, right? So this is from the example which I'm getting like my second dbt model. So if I just go and check it, that I need to verify it from this. Okay, so then only I'm able to uh, so if I just try to refresh this particular schema, and if I just scroll down here, yes, finally you can see I got this customer order. That is the final table, right? So if I just go and verify, that is um, view the data, I'm able to perform a joins on it, right? So I'm getting basically a customer ID as well as the order ID, and wherever the order is delivered, I'm getting 1, and wherever the order is not delivered, I'm getting 0. So this is kind of a basic transformation I've done, right? So I know like if you are learning a DBT for the first time, if you don't know anything about DBT, of course, like it will be very difficult for you to understand. But I'll give a brief overview what actually the DBT is. Okay, so in the upcoming videos, okay, so that it will be a clear understanding. So even I've not explained the code, I've just executed to show you like different commands. So in the next video, I'll just go in detail to explain like what actually we have done, right? So let's get started. Let me explain in DBT in a brief and explain like whatever the code we have run, right? So let's do that in the next video. Hello everyone, welcome back. So in this video now, I'll just give you a brief overview of what actually we have done so far in DBT. Okay, so we have created a account in DBT Cloud, right? So in DBT Cloud, even we have done with like managed repository, right? So we have not created any other repository. So if you want to do that, you can just create a new repository in GitHub and connect with that whatever the project you're going to build, right? So right now we are working with the analytics project, right? So even we have configured my DBT Cloud with my Postgres SQL, okay, so where my all the data is present. So now my requirement is I need to I need to transform the data which is present in my Postgres SQL. So DBT is basically a it's mainly used for the transformation. So in the ETL, we have like extract, transform, and load, right? So DBT is used only for the transformation. So how it is used? So we have a data in my data warehouse, and if I want to transform the data, okay, so in the warehouse, so basically I can just do it with help of DBT. That is how the powerful DBT is. Okay, I can just do it's not only transformation. Okay, so and in terms of speed and in terms of like the different types of transformation, and it's very simple to write. So with help of just select statements, I can just write this transformation scripts, and I can just execute in the data warehouse itself, right? So this is what the DBT is. So now, so in this project, so what we have done, so first we have created, okay, we have a different models here. Okay, so once you try to initialize the DBT project, so first we have the different scripts here, right? So different folders. So DBT is all about the folders and files. Just remember that, fine. So specifically, we'll be looking under what are models. Okay, so once you initialized first, so first we'll have an example models like a hello world. Okay, And so if I try to expand this hello world, so we have two models here, first DBT model and second DBT model. It's just an kind of hello world syntax, fine. So when I say model, a model is nothing but a SQL statements. Okay, so SQL select statement with the extension of .SQL. So whatever you see like file name .SQL is basically we call that as the models in the DBT, fine. And if with respect to that model, if you have need some configuration, or if you want to modify something, okay, we'll be mentioning that in schema.ml, right? So if you know the DBT, then you would have really understood what I'm trying to tell, right? So next is about the flow of in our project. So first we are creating a staging model. So in the staging model, we are adding a two files called staging customer.sql and staging customer.order. Okay, so if I open the staging.customer.sql, this is what the script is. So here we are selecting the customer ID, zip code, city, state code from the vendor.customer. So that while building any models or while transforming it, okay, it's good practice to have the staging area, so where the entire raw data will be available, right? So we are creating a staging space, okay, so where I can just modify, or so where I can just keep all this raw data. So when I try to run this particular script here, okay, so I can just do every time a preview selection. It's not basically DBT run, it's just a preview like what will be the output of my script. Okay, so I can just preview that, fine. You can see, so I'm able to select all this customer ID, city, and the state code as well. So even I can just download that, right? So this is what the first model we have got. And the second model, that is a staging order. So you so anyway, like we have two tables in our project, right? So one is the customer and one is the order. So here also I'm just selecting the order. Okay, so I'm just doing what I'm just selecting few columns here. So that's what, if even you can just check in the previous section. Fine. So this is what so in the previous section you're able to find all the order ID, customer ID, order status, and as well as timestamp. So we are done with the staging, because in the staging we are have just the raw data, which is pointing to my what a Postgres SQL, right? Because it's already connected with the DBT Cloud. So in the schema.ml, under the staging mentions all the tests. For example, I have told that in the models, whatever the columns you have, like whatever the table you have, like staging customer, this is one my model, and one more. I have one more name, that is a stage.order. So under this we have columns like customer ID. It should be a not null. That's what it means. And even in the staging order model, we have a name called order ID, and it should be unique and not null. So we are mentioning few tests, okay, so that so whenever we are doing some loading and stuff, it should satisfy all these tests, right? So this is what entire thing about the staging. So next we are creating a final model. So inside the final model, we have a customer.sql. So what this script is basically is doing is, so already we have loaded what a staging customer and staging order. Once I do the DBT run, so for the first time, so it will create a staging customer and staging order. So basically I'm referring to that. Okay, I'm referring to that. And what I'm doing, I'm basically doing a simple join on the customer ID from orders as well as customers, and wherever there is a customer order is delivered, okay, then mark that as 1, or else mark that as 0. This is the basic transformation. I'm just doing it, and the table is been saved where in the data warehouse, right? So if I just try to run this particular script and see the preview, okay, you can see if I just try to run and click on preview selection. So before running the model itself, okay, actual model, you will be able to see the result. Okay, so you can see, so wherever there is a customer order ID, so order is delivered is marked as 1, and wherever it is not delivered, like for example here we have 0 at some places, yeah, 0 it is not delivered, right? That's what the script is, fine. So inside the schema, we are mentioned like some of the test case that the customer ID should be not null. So once we do a DBT run, okay, so my script will execute, and in the so even if I just go and check, okay, so if I expand my databases in the Postgres, right? Uh, Let me open this PG admin once again. Yeah, if I try to expand my databases, so here we have a data DB, and inside the schema, so while creating a DBT, we have given a schema called DBT data. If I try to expand that, and you can see, so we have one table and we have four views. If I go and expand the table, so we have different tables like my DBT model. This is coming from this example sum. Okay, if I click on view here, so we have four views, and we are looking. So because why we're getting view by default. The DBT is configured to view, so we can make those changes. Okay, so in the DBT in this particular section, if I go to my here in this, so we have like dbt project.ml file. So right now it's basically configured to what, a view. Okay, transmitless, we can just convert that to table. Fine, so that's why I'm getting the result in view. So here if I go and view the data, so I'll be getting the same data whatever I got it in the DBT. Why? Because in the previous section we have checked it, right? It's the same data, I'm just getting it, right? So I'm just transferring. You can see, so my Postgres is my warehouse, right? So I'm able to do the transformation then and there itself, and I'm able to create a views and tables from there, right? And I can just connect this with my Tableau or any other BI tool. I can just do the visualizations as well, right? So this is what we are doing it in the DBT, right? So this is all about DBT, right? And in the next section, we'll see how we can just connect my Postgres to the Tableau, and I'll give like how we can just plot the charts in the Tableau as well.